guys. Um, so I just wanted to do this video. I feel pretty bleak. I feel pretty sad. um, just thinking about the situation with you guys in Texas. I just wanted to talk about it for a bit. Also, prove I'm not a bot. So, obviously, I'm in Australia. We don't have mass shootings. But this particular mass shooting has kind of hit me, in an unexpected way. And I'm going to talk about it from a bit of a different perspective. It's something I think you should think about. Okay, so Andrew Yang, who I obviously very, very much support, put a thread of tweets about the fact that this shooter had just lost his trucking job and how automation was going to get rid of a whole heap of trucking jobs, and you're going to have a whole group of people who are going to be vulnerable, and if you have no safety nets involved, it could potentially lead to absolute chaos and mass destruction in certain ways. And I then read another thing that really kind of pieced the puzzle together for me. I don't know if many people will come to the same conclusion that I do, but we'll see. So I read an article about a neighbour of this person, and they were saying that, they were really scared of this man because he shot animals from his roof and he threatened them when they tried to take away his rubbish. And what really kind of broke my heart, I guess, was when they said that, this man had no electricity, no running water, and no heating, and would sleep in his car to stay warm. Now you're probably thinking why are you sad about someone who did such horrible things? How could you possibly feel sadness for that person? That person's a monster. And I kind of look at that and I go, well, is that person a monster because they were born a monster? Or is that person a monster because they were put in a set of circumstances and they were, in a society that said that they had absolutely no worth and that they had nothing left to lose? And it just, I feel like in this society, we're very cancer culturally, we're very much, black and white and jumping to conclusions a lot of the time about things. We're very quick to forget things. And I feel like you should be able to look at something and try and, in order for, to solve a problem, you need to kind of understand why, the root of something, of why something has happened. And I look at this situation, and what I clearly see is that this isn't, a white nationalism crime. This isn't a hate crime. It's not anything terroristy or anything like that. Or a mental illness. I wouldn't even put this in mental illness. This is purely an absolute crime of utter despair. Utter despair. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that this is someone who quite literally felt that they had no value in society, that they were worthless, and that they had nothing, that they themselves in their deep, deep core was nothing. They were valued at nothing, and they had, nothing to lose. And they took all that pain and nothingness and feeling worthless, and they took it out on people in a horrific way. It wasn't right. I would never say it's right. But I can understand how someone can get from A, B, C, D, E, F, G to H. And really what this says to me is that as our automation continues to displace people, as our society continues to widen the gap between the rich and poor, we're going to have more people like this. And, I'm very blessed to be here in Australia where we have a safety net of a welfare program. But from the outside looking in at America, it really does come across that you guys literally are basically dog eat dog. If too bad if you don't have a job, if you don't have this or you don't have that, you can have a few food stamps and maybe get some housing and a tiny bit of money, and that's it. Otherwise, you're left on your own. And we really, as a society, need to start reflecting inwards in the way that Andrew discusses, and look at what our intrinsic value is as a human being. Because if we don't do anything, this is only going to get worse. These instances are only going to occur more often, because more and more people are going to slip through the cracks and have nothing to live for. And that's very, very sad. But at the same time, I'm extremely happy that someone like Andrew Yang has come along and opened up a conversation that we should have been having years and years and years ago. So yeah, that's my views on it all. It's just I don't think you quite understand. I don't think a lot of people really understand how deeply embedded scarcity mindset is. This dog eat dog, oh, if I can't have something, why should somebody else get money? If I can't be given money, why should I help that person? I worked hard, for my money. Why should we bother helping them? And we have to start having this conversation, because humanity's going to get completely torn to bits if we don't. And also, there are so many people in our society that right now, based on the parameters that we view our intrinsic value as human beings, and what we can contribute to our society, there are so many people left out of that equation. Single mothers, stay-at-home mums, stay-at-home dads, vets, elderly, a whole range of people, all worth nothing, all worth zero. Because that is how we view people. We view people based on how much money that they can put in and contribute, and how much wealth that they have. And that's the sign of whether you're a valuable person or whether you aren't. And we have to change that, especially as automation comes in and 60% of us become obsolete. I mean, the situations you guys face are a lot more intense than what I face here in Australia, but it'll inevitably swing my way anyway. My job's definitely automatable. My husband's job is automatable. We're seeing automation everywhere. So it's just as inevitable here as it is over there for you guys. And so we really need to change our system. We need to find something completely new. I mean, if we could get spaceships on the moon, why the hell can't we recreate our democratic system and create something new that actually benefits people and doesn't leave these enormous gaps of people feeling hopeless and having no worth? So yeah, I just think maybe have a bit of a think about that. Have a bit of think about what it means to be a human being, what it means to have value, and you don't have to empathize with horrible situations, but if we're going to fix anything, we really need to start setting up systems in place so that people don't fall through the cracks when this happens. And I guess to me, that is why universal basic income is an inevitability that has to happen, or we are going to end up in some horrible Hunger Games, Mad Max style world where the bottom of us perish and the elites, fly around on their planes and go to their fancy dinners and do all that crap. So yeah, sorry that was a bit of a downer, but it's a very sad situation, and it's very easy to just say thoughts and prayers and, oh, we must, stop people using guns, and we must have gun reform, and we must do this and we must do that. But very little ever gets discussed on why people feel they have no intrinsic value, and how we can support and help people at the bottom, because we're so scared that if we help people at the bottom, then it will hurt us. But that's just not true. So yeah, that's it from me. I feel like I'll probably come on here and do a couple of these videos here and there. If people find them valuable or whatever. I'm normally a bit cheerier, but this is just a bit bleh. Makes it feel a bit flat. Alright guys, have a good day.